Welcome back to Hatfield's Flipped Classroom. Just a couple of reminders. Make sure you label this as surface area and volume in our notes. And as we take notes, make sure you fill out any vocab that we go through, any formulas that we have, as well as draw the image of each of the examples, so that way you can actually see what you are going to be doing for the practice using these notes. Today we're finding surface area and volume of a rectangular prism. So we're going to start with surface area of a rectangular prism. Last time in class, we discovered that surface area is the area of all of the faces of our 3D solid. Now we could draw a net and find the area of each shape if we want to. We also discovered that on a rectangular prism, you have length, width, and height. If you do length times width, there are two rectangles with the exact same dimensions. So we do 2 times length times width. There are two rectangles with the same length and height dimensions. So 2 times length times height. And the same with width and height. There are 2, so 2 times width and height. We add those all together, and we can find the surface area. It's a quick way to find a surface area of a rectangular prism. But the issue with this is that will only find the area of a rectangular prism. There are different prisms out there, triangular, trapezoidal, so we want to be able to find the area of any prism. So our new formula today that we're going to make sense of is the surface area of any prism is 2 times capital B plus capital P times H. Now capital B stands for the area of the base. In this case, a rectangular prism has a base shape that is rectangular. So it's a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is just length times width. Capital P stands for perimeter of the base, meaning add up all of the sides of the one rectangle that is the base. And then H, lowercase h, stands for height of the prism from one base to the exact same base. How long is that? All right, so let's see an example of this. We're going to find the surface area of this rectangular prism. First, we need to recall this is our formula, 2b plus ph. Our base is a rectangle, which is length times width, or base times height. First, I'm going to draw this rectangle. The rectangle that has the right angles there, if you see it clearly, it's a 2 by 5. So it has 2 sides that are 2 and 2 sides that are 5. I'm going to go ahead and circle this 6 inches because that is the length from one of the 2 by 5 rectangles to the other 2 by 5 rectangle. So that is the height of my prism. Now I'm going to circle the 6. I'm going to leave it alone for now. We're going to find everything else first, and then we'll put it back into the original formula. So let's start with finding capital B. Capital B is the area of the rectangle. The rectangle is a 2 by 5, so we're going to do 2 times 5, and we get 10 inches squared. That is the area of our base. The perimeter of our base, if we add up all the sides, 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 5, we get 14. So capital P is 14. And again, we circled our H, which is 6, so we can bring that down. So we have everything we can to fill out this formula. 2B plus PH. 2 times capital B, which is 10, plus capital P, which is 14, times H, which is 6. If we fill in, substitute that information in, and we simplify, evaluating, getting 104 square inches. Remember, area is 2-dimensional, so it is square inches. And that is how we use this formula to find the surface area of any type of prism. Now, all 3 different ways will work. It's whatever way works best for you. You're given options. And now we are going to find volume of a rectangular prism. So last time we found out that a volume of a rectangular prism was the total space inside the solid. We found on a rectangular prism, if we multiply the length times the width times the height, then we got our volume. Now, of course, that again only works for a rectangular prism. So we're going to do any type of prism today. And so our new formula will be volume of a prism is capital B times H. Capital B is still the area of the base. In this case, a rectangle. And then H stands for the height of the prism. from one base to the other. Our example here, I see a rectangle as the base, the one that has the 4 right angles, the easiest one to pick out. Remember, volume is capital B times H, and this base is a rectangle, which is length times width, or base times height. The rectangle I see that has the 4 right angles, that is easy to see, is the 8 by 9. So it's 2 sides of 8, 2 sides of 9. That means my 10 centimeters, that is my height, from one 8 by 9 rectangle to the other, is 10 centimeters long. Area of my rectangle, capital B, is 8 times 9, which is 72 square centimeters. And then H is 10, because we found that from circling it. So volume of a prism is capital B times H, so it's 72 times 10, which gives us 720 cubic centimeters. So that is how you find the surface area and volume of a rectangular prism. Today we're going to push that a little bit further, going into all types of prisms, as well as eventually into cylinders. Good luck with the practice, and ask any questions.